we're back. Hey guys, Kyokushin Analyst here. A few months ago I did a prediction for the title fight between Jordan Pikeur taking on Kubo. So for those of you who got to catch the event or the VOD that was posted to the K1 channel, Kubo defended his title and won by decision. So I thought it'd be worth going over, just kind of giving my thoughts on the fight. It wasn't super action-packed. Actually went the complete opposite of the way I thought, but I thought it'd be interesting to analyze why. So Jordan Pikeur is more of a, Dutch Muay Thai style fighter, very aggressive, loves to throw huge combinations. He did this very well against a common opponent, which is what I analyzed in the last video against Minoru Kimura. Now I knew that Kubo would try to avoid Pikeur, kind of make him fight the long fight, you know what I mean? Drag him into the later rounds. Counterpunch. He wasn't gonna get caught in any corners and standing there and brawling. And that's what he did, but there were some reasons why I thought Pikeur would be able to catch him. So I'm looking at the record right now. Kubo's been pretty inactive. He's only had about one fight every year. He fought Mohan Dragon, in 2016, 2017. Melsik in 2018, very early 2018, and that was, a point affair. He kind of pointed his way to a decision. There was no knockdowns as far as I recall. And then he fought Yasuhiro Kido, who I believe is 40 years old at this point. Like, he's quite past his prime. And even that was like an extra round split decision. It was not super impressive. And he was only fighting once a year. So I figured he'd have some ring rust. His level of opponents is not as good. Jordan Pikeur had defeated Masaki Nori, who is, Noiri is, man, you could make some pretty good arguments that he's the best right now, and that he would even win a rematch against Pikeur. That guy is a monster. So that he had won against him in 2019. He beat some good contenders like Kaisei Kondo, who's a little inexperienced, but he did beat him. I just figured Pikeur would be more on point. He wouldn't have as much ring rust. He'd fought 3 times in 2019. This happened in March at Festa 3 when he fought Kubo. So going into it, I figured a mix of ring rust, better opponents recently. I just felt Pikeur would get it done. Now he didn't. Kubo did what he would plan to do always, which is counterpunch, use good head movement, and just frustrate Pikeur, make him chase him, make him miss, make him pay. There wasn't any huge moments. Like, Kubo never really had him in trouble, but he definitely controlled the pace. He fought the fight he wanted to, and Pikeur was never able to really get much going against him. I was actually kind of surprised at how little Pikeur tried to drag him into a brawl. There were some moments where I felt like he took his foot off the gas too and sort of let Kubo play this rangy game. And I think there's a reason why, because after the fight you can see Pikeur seems pretty upset about the decision. I think he thought he was winning, and I think his corner was telling him that he was winning. I can't show it because it's been deleted now, but Pikeur after the fight put a poll on his Twitter asking fans who they thought won. And when people overwhelmingly voted that they thought Kubo had won, he deleted it. So that leads me to believe that in the third, when Pikeur really should have been trying to trap him in a corner or really just going for the Hail Mary, he thought he was ahead. And that may have played into why he kind of took his foot off the gas and let Kubo play this range game, even more so in the third round. He really kind of let it get away from him. So I think he thought he was ahead. And that probably played heavily into why Kubo won. Now, the last reason I was pretty sure Kubo was going to lose this fight, which I've since changed my mind on, is the problems with his wife, Sarah. So if you guys don't know, Kubo's kind of a celebrity. Him and his wife are kind of a celebrity couple, at least on YouTube. They've got a pretty popular YouTube channel, and they are always in drama. Some of the stuff is just absolutely ridiculous. So I thought, the constant problems with his wife, I mean, they break up like every week, it feels like. It's almost hard to keep track of all the nonsense. I figured that would play heavily because he was even releasing YouTube videos talking about how head wasn't in it because he was, worried about his wife and that she had left him and stuff like this. I think in hindsight, seeing how focused he was in the fight, I'm starting to believe that this is all just for show, that this is reality TV show nonsense, and that at home they probably live a completely normal life, and that all this is just for the camera. So what I think Pikeur could have done a little better is when he did throw those leg kicks, really commit to those long step-in leg kicks. I think if he had really gone for those, like fake the front leg kick inside, and then when Kubo slides back, just step in and throw a hard back right low kick and just sort of chop those legs down the first 2 rounds, he might have had a better shot in the third. When you've got, Taekwondo footwork kind of guys like Kubo who are just going to try to counterpunch the whole fight, you got to slow them down somehow. And the only way to do that is either to the body or to the legs. And he didn't throw enough of those chopping low kicks, I think, to slow Kubo down. He kind of headhunted a bit too much in the first rounds and kind of let Kubo dictate, how the fight was going to go. You can't start chopping their legs in the third round and expect it to work, which he didn't really try to do. He didn't go crazy like Keto usually tries to do and go nuts on the legs in the third round. Because again, I think he thought he was ahead and just kind of coasted thinking he was going to get the decision, which was obviously the wrong move. So I'm surprised. Kubo is constantly surprising. I thought he'd lose to Melsik too, but he pulled off that decision. A pretty boring decision, but he pulled it off too. So something for Western fans know much about the backgrounds of K1. Can't speak Japanese. I just thought this was interesting that more of the antics after the fight was over. Kubo asked his wife Sarah to come back to the ring. There he said some stuff like he was going to change, and like he really wanted them to start over and start a relationship again from scratch. And her reply was basically, let's just be friends. She friend-zoned him in front of the whole arena. It was really cringy and really strange, and again, I think this might just be like publicity stunts. And interestingly enough, Kubo has announced that he'd like to go to boxing and doesn't plan on fighting in K1 again. He wants to join the Japanese national team and do Olympic boxing. Again, it's hard to tell with him how much of this is real and how much of this is for publicity, because from what I read, like the trials to get on the Olympic team are way over. Like he couldn't get in now even if they wanted him. That's it from me. Just a little breakdown of this fight. I definitely called it wrong. I think a lot of people did. I think the majority of people thought Pikeur was going to win. It's too bad because it definitely was within his grasp. I think if he'd really gone for it in the first rounds with leg kicks, he might have been able to slow Kubo down enough to get the knockout. You win some, you lose some. I might even pick Pikeur if they have a rematch. I think he probably learned a lot from that fight. Anyway, guys, just, wanted to get you guys a commentary. I keep getting messages from people saying they want me to do more commentaries, even though I'm more comfortable doing highlights. I don't really think I'm that great at commentary, but I'm glad you guys are requesting it, so I'll try to keep doing it. And hope you guys take care in these crazy times. All right? Take care, guys. Bus.